part 4 of creating Pascal. You ready? Okay, let's pick up from where we left off the last one. Z on the keyboard so you can have the wheel reappear on the screen so we can adjust the opacity. There we are. Z to remove the wheel again, otherwise it's not gonna allow you to work with the model if the wheel is still there on the reference picture. So let's move the foot a little bit with our move tool. Okay. Trying to think, because the picture, it's an angle profile, basically. It's like partially from the top, taken from the top. So it is very difficult to adjust it according to the picture, but at least it will give us the dimensions and the proportions of the body, which I'm trying to do at the moment. So we get at least good proportions. Let's scale the body a little bit. Move it a little bit up. Okay, let's change to my head subtool, my move brush, so I can move a little bit the top. I usually like working with separate subtools. Like I do at the moment, I have a separate subtool for the head, separate subtool for the body, separate subtools for the legs. That doesn't necessarily mean that you can't do the whole body and everything from just a sphere. Yes, you can. It's just this is the way I like working. I like developing each different part separately and then putting them together where we're going to be using later on the Boolean tool. So yeah, looking forward to that part. It's really nice watching the videos again. Let's play a little bit with the tail. Just get the start right. Like I said before in one of the previous videos, we're going to make the tail straight and then we're going to rig it to get that curl effect. Smooth it a little bit. Remember, if you are using your move brush, just keep pressing the shift button, the shift key on the keyboard, and it will turn into a smooth brush. So this way you can just use one brush rather than clicking for another brush. What am I doing now? Trying to amend the leg. What am I getting now? The inflate brush. Yeah, I like the inflate brush. So B on the keyboard to open the brushes panel, and then I for the inflate brush. I, so it can actually take you to the brushes which names are starting with an I, and then you select the brush. For those of you who are new to ZBrush. Okay, let's move it a little bit. Shift. Basically move and smooth for the time being until we get the correct shape right. Or at least the basic shape for the moment. Okay, let's mask. That's the control. You hold control and then you draw. I'll add this to the shortcut keys. Control for masking. So what I'm trying to do is masking it. Why did I mask it in the first place? Obviously I decided not to do anything with it. At least you know how to mask for the moment. Okay, inflate brush again, so we can inflate those toes. Look how nicely they bubble up. Smooth them a little bit. We'll add some more geometry later on. For the moment, we're just getting the basic shape right. And then afterwards we'll move on to making it nice and smooth, adding subdivisions and everything else. I really like starting from low polygonal geometry, because the more geometry you add to a model, the heavy the model starts being the heavy on the computer and everything else. So the less geometry, the better. That doesn't mean that we need to leave it with edges and everything. Let's give him a bit of a hip. Go back to poly F to see our geometry because it's stretching. So I want to Z-remesh it again. We've used the Z-remesh a few times now. I like that tool. And it's a good tool because later on, when we get to the retopologizing and getting the character ready for animation, you would think, why can't we use these low poly models that we have created here with the Z-remesh? Well, later on I'll explain you the reasons. I've tried. It does work, but it does not work very well. So yeah, I'll explain to you afterwards, well, once we get to the retopologizing part, why we would need to retopologize it anyway. So let's bring the picture back, Shift+Z. Remember, if you need the wheel so you can adjust the opacity or the scale of the picture, Z on the keyboard. And then don't forget to remove the wheel Z on the keyboard so you can basically interact with the model and the picture at the same time. Otherwise, it's not going to allow you. You can try it and see what happens. In the beginning, when I started using reference in ZBrush, it was so annoying. I kept forgetting how I can remove the wheel. So yeah, let's adjust it a little bit. Turn it tiny bit, the angle. Scale it down a little bit. Not scale, don't scale. Just zoom out of it. Don't scale anything yet. There we are. That looks good. Good proportions we have here now. The foot is nearly the level we want it. The head and the body as well. So maybe the foot tiny bit smaller. We can scale it. No, the whole thing, okay. Let's adjust our pivot. Remember the key on top, unlock, to adjust the pivot, and then don't forget to lock, so you're able to actually use the scale tool and the move tool. They're in one here. Okay, we've got just a tiny bit more left from this part. Turn it around a little bit. What are we doing? Which brush? Inflate brush, yes. I like the inflate brush. How chunky we make it, huh? It's really nice. I really do enjoy watching those videos again. Like I said in the previous videos, I don't know whether you've caught up on it. I've pre-recorded the videos while I was working on it, and now I'm just doing the voice overlap. But it's still really good fun watching it again. Let's move those toes a little bit. Ooh, shouldn't have smoothed that. I'll Command Z for undoing something. Let me add this to the list as well. That's a very, very important shortcut key. Command Z. Scale a little bit. Shift-Z on the keyboard to remove the reference picture. And I think that's it. I will see you in the next video. Thank you for